More than $1 billion a year. That's how much money cash-strapped California would gain if it closed a tax loophole that many out-of-state corporations take advantage of.
It is such an egregious, grotesque corporate tax loophole that must be closed.
The biggest beneficiaries? Companies with heavy sales volume in California, but few workers or offices here. Corporations such as Kimberly-Clark, International Paper, General Motors, and Chrysler.
It rewards them for not investing in California.
The loophole allows out-of-state corporations to essentially choose how they want to be taxed. Every year, at filing time, they get a chance to pick from one of two formulas.
Corporate tax attorneys are laughing at California. This is an embarrassment. They know that the opportunities to manipulate the system are endless when you have a loophole like this.
And critics say it puts California-based companies at a competitive disadvantage.
These California homegrown companies are perversely being incentivized to create jobs not in California for Californians, but rather outside the state of California, in states like Oregon, Nevada, Texas.
Governors of other big states, Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Republican keynote speaker, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, have signed new tax bills without such a loophole. Christie says it's been key to the New Jersey comeback: increased revenue, more jobs.
If you can do this in New Jersey, you can do it anywhere.
Now California is hoping to close its tax loophole, but Republicans and out-of-state corporations led by General Motors, Chrysler, Kimberly-Clark, and International Paper are trying to block it.
If it's good enough for Republican Governor Chris Christie in the state of New Jersey, it's good enough for California.
If the legislature doesn't act, the people of California may, through a November ballot initiative, and backers of the initiative have already released ads.
Look at that! They're completely avoiding the taxes altogether.
Designed to send a message to Kimberly-Clark, International Paper, GM, and Chrysler: Californians will fight back.
And you're listening to KKUP Cupertino. That's 91.5 FM. On your dial, the show is Silicon Valley Voice. I'm Valley Sharpe-Geisler, and I'm talking with Alexa Bluth. She's from Yes on Prop 39. And we have some great propositions on the ballot this election cycle, and it's really, really, really important you get out and vote this November because we need to hear your voice on so many different campaigns. But Yes on Prop 39 is one of them. And those of you that have listened to my show for years have heard me complain about the fact that we give tax breaks to out-of-state corporations on the backs of our students. So we give $2 billion to corporations at the same time as we take away $4 billion from schools. What's up with that? I mean, obviously we didn't have the money if we had to cut $4 billion from education. So what are we doing? I mean, we have to be serious and fiscally responsible. I think, as Clinton said, it's arithmetic, and the arithmetic of giving money to out-of-state corporations instead of to stimulate corporate growth here in the state of California doesn't make sense. So I've gone on now and explained my rant for the last 6 years. I'm talking with Alexa Bluth, and she's from Yes on Prop 39. And guess what? They're going to plug that loophole so that they level the playing field between out-of-state corporations and in-state corporations. So we could stimulate, actually, by plugging this tax loophole, we could stimulate a corporate growth here in California. So, Alexa, how did you get involved in Yes on Prop 39, and tell us about the road to getting this on the ballot?
Hi, Valley. Yes, thanks for having me here. And you're absolutely right. What we're talking about with Proposition 39 is leveling the playing field and bringing $1 billion back to California that we now are losing to out-of-state corporations. These are companies that aren't even providing jobs here in California.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yes, exactly.
Makes no sense.
And how we got to the ballot is because there have been legislative leaders, including Speaker Perez, who have tried for several years to get this loophole closed. I should say, on a basis of history, that this loophole was slipped into our state budget literally in the dark of night in a legislative budget discussion.
Yeah.
And basically, it was part of a deal that was struck, and it happened late at night, and honestly, people didn't really even know what was going on when it was going on. And then when the light of day came, everybody realized that we just hit California to the tune of $1 billion, which, as you know, our budget cannot stomach right now.
Right.
So what we want to do now, this hasn't been able to go through in the legislature for various reasons, not the least of which is some special interest and out-of-state interests who do not want to be, paying more in taxes, and so they're fighting it. So we think now it's up to the voters to go ahead and to close this loophole and to get this money back, creating jobs and into our general fund and to schools.
Right. Now, what are the different provisions within Prop 39? Another good reason why we should vote yes on Prop 39.
Mm-hmm. Well, Prop 39 does three very simple things. It closes this loophole. It will bring jobs and start creating jobs in California immediately. And basically, it will do that by the $1 billion that it will bring back to California. For the first 5 years, half of that money is going to be invested in clean energy construction projects and energy efficiency projects in public buildings, schools, various public agencies, and also in helping get some financing to the private sector, too, all of which will create jobs. And in the meantime, will help to improve our energy efficiency and reduce costs to taxpayers.
So talk about the clean jobs part. How do you see that being implemented?
Mm-hmm. Well, essentially what would happen is for 5 years, the architects of this initiative really wanted to make sure that we did this right, that, we were, the money that came in and that this state is due was used in a way that will help in a lot of ways. And this state has two crises. It has a budget crisis and a job crisis. And, it'll help in both ways. If half of the money is used for clean energy projects, those are local construction jobs to put things, from anything from solar panels to energy efficient windows in buildings, all projects that create construction jobs and create savings through the energy savings that they have.
Now, what other states have, through bipartisan support and through their own legislatures, have put this kind of legislation in practice?
Well, actually, most of the largest states, including New York, Texas, Michigan, Nebraska, Colorado, have adopted a policy similar to this without a loophole because they want to do what California should do, which is provide an incentive for companies to invest in their state.
So maybe California should stop being a bunch of saps and vote yes on Prop 39 instead of being wooed and cajoled and kidded by those who would not support this.
Well, Valerie, it's true. It's California likes to pride itself as being a leader in a lot of areas. It has been a leader in clean energy, and it's been a leader in a lot of areas. But I will tell you that there are other states and even countries that are closing in on us, and we really do need to start showing some leadership, and we need to start doing business in a way that is the best way to do it for California and for the people who live here.
And it's super, super important that we jump on top of this whole green economy. And you have to implement these things piece at a time when you're kind of in a tug of war with the oil economy. But this is certainly a good piece because some of the out-of-state corporations that were getting the $1 billion was for the tax loophole and taking advantage of this tax loophole. And it wasn't just $1 billion. It's been $1 billion every year since I've been counting. So it's at least $6 billion at this point that we could have still had in our budget that we don't have because we have this loophole. So we do need to close it. But this is a reasonable next step. and it actually saves us money. And I am really tired of legislators wanting to balance their budgets on the backs of this group of citizens when corporations, out-of-state corporations, have been benefiting from our economy here in California for decades. They've been getting loopholes like this and others, actually, for decades. That's decades of billions of dollars that we haven't had in our income stream, and now we're have the opportunity to step up and close this because our state legislature isn't capable of doing it on their own.
And Valerie, I also want to say that, there are lots of measures on this ballot. We've had a lot of elections. I think voters may be feeling a little weary of all of this ballot box issues going on, all of these ballot box issues going on. But let me just say that this is completely separate from the other issues on the ballot that are actual tax increases. This measure, I just want to make clear, Proposition 39 is not a tax increase on any California individual or company or family. This is simply closing a tax loophole that right now gives out-of-state corporations an advantage over those that are here in California and that are creating homegrown jobs, and is costing our state $1 billion on the backs of our general fund, our schools, our public safety areas where we all know we can sure use the money.
Exactly. Yep, it's time for us to close this loophole, and it's wonderful that you've put Prop 39 on the ballot, and I'm looking forward to voting yes on it.
Thank you, and we hope everybody will. We really think it's a no-brainer. We think, a measure that's going to bring money into our state, tens of thousands of jobs into our state, and improve and keep increasing the clean energy and energy efficiency of our state is a no-brainer. We hope that it wins 100% to 1 or to none.
Yeah. This time, instead of asking for money on a ballot, like you say, this one is actually giving money back to our budget, which we so dearly need. Now, what contact information do you have where people could hook up with what's going on with the Yes on Prop 39 campaign?
Absolutely. Well, we'd love for you to follow us, get real-time information on our Twitter handle is Yes on Prop 39. It's very simple. The website is the same, www.yesonprop39.com. And we'd love your support and your vote for this very important measure.
Well, thanks a bunch. I appreciate catching up with you, and yay, we're finally going to be able to close this loophole that I've been harping on for the last 6 years, and you guys actually went out and did it and put it on the ballot, so thanks so much again.
Well, thank you, Valley.
And we've been talking with Alexa Bluth from Yes on Prop 39, so get out there in November, and if you vote for one thing, please vote Yes on Prop 39. And now off to a little music.